Why they talking like they go? Just don't provoke me, cause I don't need no cellmate. I'm in a two-seat, doing drops like a mailman. This ain't no hoopty, ass she riding, she's a hell yeah. No, I won't lose sleep about no pussy, I'm like farewell. Yeah. I'm outside. I know how it feel to see your homie switch sides. I know how to put that Rolls Royce shit in drive. I know how to load a clip and shoot, we gotta ride. You ain't gotta lie to me, baby, no. You know it's a vibe every time we catch him off sides, he won't make it, no. Money on my mind, I can't get it all. I've been outside.
I'm inside Trupod Studios. Welcome back to another edition of the Morning Hustle. That's right. Well, we talk about finances, rental activities, and business activities. A little topic the other day with a friend of mine, man, and people are looking to buy homes, man. And interest rates are looking okay, I guess. But let's just talk to the expert, right? We had my man Abdel Kawatmi, right? And I hope I got it right. If not, the gorilla's going to get at me. But yeah, let's bring him on and let's talk a little bit about, where we are in the beginning of 2024 in this market that we're in, look, is it a good time to buy a home? There was so many things that I spoke to a friend of mine about, what other things are entailed when you buy a home. Usually when you're buying a home, and you're a first time buyer and, you don't know too much about the process, you're thinking about, I got a mortgage, but what other costs are incurred in this process, right? I guess Abdel Kumar is going to tell us a little bit more about that. But yeah, man, let's get right to it. Let's bring on the gorilla. All right, bring on the gorilla. He's in the building. That's right.
I love that. I love that start. That was awesome.
Abdel, man, welcome back to the show, bro. It's always a pleasure to have you on, man, and talk the talk with you. And, I was just telling the audience, man, that I was talking to a friend a little bit about, home ownership and just talking about some of the things that like you normally don't really talk about when you're looking to buy a home. And some of these things can kind of be surprising once you're going through the actual process. Yeah. And maybe you can help us out today and, put more clarity on what other costs are entailed in owning a house or even in leading through that process of buying a home. So let's start there. As a buyer, like what types of bills besides the mortgage are you going to be responsible for?
Yeah,
within the process, and I guess after the process, because there is more than just a mortgage bill once you own a home, right?
Yep. Awesome question, right? To start off, right, first of all, what is entailed in a mortgage, right? When you pay your mortgage, right, you pay something called your PITI, which is your principal, your interest, your taxes, and your insurance, right? PITI. Your principal is the money that the bank is lending you on, right? So if it's a $400,000 loan spread over 360 months, right? If it's a 30-year mortgage, if it's a 15-year mortgage, 180 months, so on and so forth, right?
Yeah.
Your interest is obviously based off of what you're getting charged for by the bank based on the interest rate that you're receiving, right? So principal and interest is what's called your P&I, right? That is what we look at when I'm qualifying a client, right? We look at those parameters, right, to make sure we establish it. Now, the part that some people forget, or not really forget, but don't keep in mind, is the taxes. And we're in Jersey and we lend throughout the nation, but Jersey's our backyard. That's our HQ. And some spots in Jersey, you can get a $500,000-$600,000 home and pay, and we're talking like Middlesex up, right? And pay like anywhere from 9 to 12 grand, right, in property taxes. But then sometimes when you creep into Bergen County or Passaic County,
higher, right? Much higher.
It's 15, 16, 17, sometimes even steeper. And it's that price point, right? So whenever I'm pre-approving a client, right, and I pre-approve them based on, say, a $350,000 loan amount, one of the main things in addition that I always go over is what's the taxes, right? and coordinating with the real estate professional as to what those taxes are, because that is critical. You know, we
So
had
is
we
it
had a we had a
and
situation.
not to interrupt you real quick, but so is it the norm that obviously in those areas where the taxes are higher, it's just a matter of fact that the prices of the homes are much higher. Is that usually what it is usually, or
Not
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 necessarily?
necessarily. I mean, you know, taxes are based on, you know, the value of the home, the specific percentage, right? Some areas are 1.5, 2.3, whatever the case may be. But what I personally find is the areas that are a little bit more prevalent, affluent, better school systems, better accessibility to certain shopping, right? Better accessibility to certain retail stores, things like that, usually
Okay.
contributes to the property taxes, right? So, like you talk about urban areas, right? Your Newark, your Elizabeth, your Jersey City, your stuff like that. They were always prevalent to have lower taxes, right? Because there just really wasn't much going on. It's starting to change, right? Like I went to school in Newark back at 2008. So whenever the hell that was, right? Uh, quite some time ago. Uh, and dude, I went there last year conducting a home buying seminar, because you know I love doing that
That's
at
right.
the Metropolitan Baptist Church in Newark, which was like right next to Essex County College. And I literally lived in Newark for 5 years. And I was like, "Holy crap, where am I?" Right? There was a Whole Foods, a Nike factory store, you know, warehouses that I literally remember used to obstruct my view from looking at Broad Street. I used to live on Hazel Street, which was
Yeah.
literally the street right before Broad, and literally used to obstruct my view from seeing like the Broad Street Park that was there is gone. And I'm not talking about like a small little mini rinky dinky 3-floor thing. No, this
Yeah.
was literally about um I don't even know, 6, 7 feet high. And you know, we were simultaneously able to see that. So
Yeah.
that kind of shows you where the industry has shifted with new construction. I know a lot of those areas too, they're doing tax abatements and stuff, incentives for some of those people, right? For some of the developers,
Okay.
which kind of entices people to go through that. And we take it from there. So,
All right. So okay. So all right. So property taxes, huge. I guess point
yep,
in factoring in when you're trying to buy a home, right?
yep.
And
I mean,
and that obviously gets paid spread out. You know, it's not like you're paying $12,000 all in one shot.
yeah. So it's a great question. So it's split within your payment, right? Great point. So we were going over that. So we said principal, interest, taxes, and then insurance. This is the sneaky part that some people don't know, or some real estate professionals it's not necessarily disclosed because they just frankly don't know, or they may do it on purpose. Who knows, right?
Uh
But
oh.
when we talk about insurance, right, there's three different types of potential insurance that is involved when you're purchasing a home, right? Three. So you have your potential of hazard insurance, which you must have. Actually, let me take that back. Hazard insurance you must have when you purchase a home. So you need to have Geico, Progressive, Liberty Mutual, whatever the case may be. That is going to protect you in case
You
there's
must have
fire
actually.
or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
The second thing you have is a potential of flood insurance. And flood insurance, for all of us who know in Jersey, I know most of us know about it in Florida and stuff, but Jersey really never used to get flooded like crazy like we do now, right?
No,
Mother
now it's
Nature's
ridiculous.
mother
Just a couple of
pissed.
days ago was ridiculous.
Yeah. So houses getting, dude, I had a deal die. You remember I posted it. I had a deal.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're not shy about posting also your little, pitfalls here and
Oh
there.
yeah. Bro, I don't care how experienced I am, how successful we are. There's pitfalls. No matter how good we try to avoid certain things, we'll catch them faster than normal. But final walkthrough, clear to close, 30 minutes before closing, numbers are done, docs are out, wire is out. Um, Client is doing the final walkthrough, walks in the house. Shame on the listing agent for not going to the house before, right, and checking that the house was flooded with water. I mean, imagine you just spent so much money, you know, it was a vet too, on top of that. Spent
Man.
so much money. You're walking in a home, and then the house was literally like yay high in water, right? It's like this much water.
Yeah.
And it's
Ankle deep,
unfortunate.
huh?
It sucks, but it's unfortunate because the real estate professional he was working with, in my experience, was a little light on experience.
Okay.
So those type of circumstances happens, but you sometimes as a buyer do have that competitive advantage to kind of like take advantage of that situation, right? Where you're like, yo, I want you to fix the floors, I want you to change this, I want you to change that, and I want a $5,000 seller's concession on top of that for the inconvenience. You know what I mean? And that's
Wow.
what I went ahead and negotiated. So I'm not the guy that's like, here's your paper, see you later, deuces. I need to make sure you're good. I better be invited to your housewarming party and stuff like that, because we're fam. Like if I'm coming in there and you're trusting me out of all the schmucks out there and you want me to help you, the
That's right.
least I can do is make sure you love the home. Your real estate professionals are studs, but we're all on the same page, right? Certain avenues of sellers concessions that you may not know to take advantage of, buy down, stuff like that, right? So that's flood, right? Now, flood is based on the flood zone map with FEMA, which is the Federal Emergency Management Association. So FEMA, they draw out these maps, right? And there's different flood zone X, flood zone A, flood zone E. So there's
Some
different
worse than
flood
others,
zones.
I assume.
What's up?
Some zones worse than others. Is that
Correct.
why they
Yeah.
sectioned them?
So like Wallington, right? I had a 2-fam in Wallington. Um, I mean, literally the backyard, you can go fishing, right?
Oh man.
No joke. So I got the deal actually from a referral partner of mine, where the other lender was dropping the ball, couldn't do it, whatever. We came in, long story short, but sticking to the script of the flood insurance, FHA now allows you to go private on the flood insurance, right? So there's two different types of ways where you can get flood insurance. You can get flood insurance through a FEMA, which is where for as long as I know, right? If you had a government insured loan with FHA, you had to go through FEMA to get the flood insurance.
If you had
And
that type of loan.
correct.
Okay.
And it was expensive.
Oh
I mean,
man.
we're
I,
talking
I, I
like,
was thinking it was gonna be cheaper from the government.
no, fuck no. It's like 3,500, 4,500 a year.
Oh.
So you want to make sure, as both as a lender and a real estate professional, if I'm pre-approving a client for say 550, and we're looking in areas that may be prevalent with flood insurance, I better be counting that into the client's payment, right? Or else we don't have a deal. We have a dead deal. Um, so there's that, right? So it's so important. A lot of agents will shoot me a picture and be like, "Hey, is this in a flood zone?" Right? I'll pull up the FEMA map, screenshot it. I'm like, it does not look like it's in a flood zone X, but I'm going to send it over to our insurance partner. The insurance partner will do their thing, run a flood zone search map, and then tell us if it's required or not, right? So we look at that. And then the last insurance is mortgage insurance, right? Obviously, everyone has heard about it. For some reason, sometimes everybody's like, well, I don't want to pay mortgage insurance. The reality of mortgage insurance is it's a risk based insurance specifically for the bank, not for the consumer, for the bank, protecting them in case you default as a consumer. If you put less than 20% down on a conventional mortgage, you have to have mortgage insurance. Very simple.
Okay, so what happens if you put beyond the 20%?
If you put 20% down or more, you're no longer deemed as a risk, right? Therefore, there's no private mortgage insurance involved. And essentially, the bank, the institution, is the one that takes the risk, right, of
Okay.
lending you the money and so on and so forth, right? Now, you got to think of it, I always say, from a lending standpoint. I'm giving you hypothetically $500,000, and you're giving me what's 20% down to 500, 100 grand, right? So if your loan amount is 400 grand, let's say you don't pay. The odds of me doing the foreclosure, going through after 4 months of non-payment, taking the property, trying to sell it, I can probably get 400,000, right? If I sell it. I probably can't necessarily get 500,000 if I lent you, right, that much money.
Yeah.
Therefore, I need to make sure that I am protected and insured as an institution. Now, every bank, if they're selling on the secondary market to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, follow these rules. It's not like Abdel's rule is different than ABC Bank, than XYZ Bank. If it's a traditional regular mortgage that's being sold, right? Now, FHA mortgage insurance is not called PMI. It's called MIP, which is mortgage insurance premium. So PMI on a conventional loan stands for private mortgage insurance, meaning a private carrier is insuring the bank.
The bank,
right?
It's not has nothing to do with the bank. It's
Nothing to do with the institution. And
like,
what we do is we have access to multiple different ones. Generally, I have with my institution, with my branch that I own, 6 different MI companies. And what we do is we shop for you the best one. Obviously, when I say shop for you, I got to find the cheapest because I need to make sure you qualify for the mortgage and your payment is the cheapest. And if you're insured, the hell do you care if it's coming from, Ascent or Guardian or Nationwide or Arch or whoever it is, as long as it's there, right? Now,
sure.
for FHA, the insurance is provided by HUD, the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Now, it always, for quite some time, was more expensive in many instances, FHA mortgage insurance than conventional, right? Because
Why is that?
So usually an FHA borrower, right? Many instances, your credit is a little on the lighter side sometimes,
Okay.
or you're putting less money down, right?
Okay.
And things like that, right? So you're to an extent not as strong as a consumer, right?
Okay.
Now,
so like maybe a little more risk.
A little more risk. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Now, as a what's it called? Our current president, within his institution, what he did was it used to be 0.85% of the loan amount was generally your monthly insurance plus the added risk, credit score, down payment, all that stuff, whatever algorithm they did.
Okay.
They changed it to 0.55, which freed up in many instances with some people almost $50,000 to $75,000 of buying power, right? That, let's say you qualify for 400, now you can qualify for maybe like 440 or 460 because MI is cheaper now on FHA, right? So normally when I'm going over options with clients to complete the mortgage application, all of our pre-approvals, I run them on soft inquiries. I do not run hard inquiries on clients until the offer is accepted because I want to make sure you're in the best possible credit standing.
That's really important. That's so important. That's another talk that I had with the friend. It's like, do they hit your credit? What are they doing? Like if you don't, if you don't qualify, then you got to wait longer now. Not know what's going on. So soft inquiries, and for the audience listening, hard inquiries and soft inquiries. Hard inquiries do have an impact on your credit, and soft inquiries don't. So. That's pretty good considering everything. You're always trying to close the deal, man. That's what I love about you, brother. I interrupted, but continue.
Dude. I mean, listen, man. There is no shortage of stuff that happened, right? I mean, if anyone who says, right, how's business, and they're like, oh, dude, I'm fucking crushing it. Things are smooth sailing. You know what I mean? Everything is great. I'd probably check their numbers first to confirm. Now, we've been blessed, to grow our business exponentially and have partners like yourselves, right, and the institutions that you guys represent. But dude, it is a grind. It is a Monday to Monday, eyes open to eyes shut, as I've said numerous times, right? But the best part about the last year and a half truly showed the professionals who are in this for the long haul and the professionals that were kind of like looking for a quick buck. Now, I started off doing this part-time, as 99.9% of professionals do. Nobody truly 110% dives into this and says, I'm leaving my full-time job to get into this. Until you taste a little bit of success, right, and a little bit of consistency is generally when you take that leap. Now, some people may have, and hopefully they came out studs and they're still studs. But what I did, I came from a firm, right? Had an access of business from clients from the firm, which is where my background comes in with the compliance, with figuring things out and stuff like that. And then took a leap of faith, right? Literally right before COVID hit in 2019, and then smooth sailing since.
And are you speaking about PRMG as the firm?
No, I was at a law firm.
Oh, a law
at an
firm.
at an actual law firm. I was going through Rutgers when I was in Newark for law school. My wife gave birth,
Oh
right?
wow.
So I had to skip law school and go into actually working in a restaurant business, being a server and a bartender 7 days a week, seven doubles. So I used to
Oh my
work
God.
lunch and dinner, right? Like, and it was like 10 a.m., right? To 11, 12 o'clock at night straight.
Man, bro.
Let's go,
So
champ. You feel
so
me?
so the grind was there. So when people say, "Yo, you're always working, you're doing this, you're doing that," and I'm like, yeah, but I've been used to that. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like programmed in that DNA. At least now I could do it. Like here, we're in our podcast room. Now I could do it from the comfort of something that I run. And if I need to say sneak out, drop my kids off, that's big for me in the morning, hit the
Yeah.
gym in the morning, do certain things. It's up to
No.
me though, in any 1099 employment that you do. Like I tell my loan officers, the work that you put in is the work that you get out, right? So the least I can do, right? I'm actually going to be a guest on the national call for our company today for the first call for the year. And the thing I tell them is, they're like your online exposure, your reviews and all that stuff. And I say the least thing I can do is put myself out there, make myself accessible, pick up my phone, set proper expectations for our clients, always be there, educate, let them know that sometimes the stuff on the internet isn't always 100% as accurate as you think it is, right? And I'm going to show you why, and I'm going to educate you why, right? So that's kind of on that. Now, the second part of your question is what are additional stuff that comes up, right? So you take care of your mortgage, you take care of your interest, take care of all that stuff, you pay your payment, right? Now, I always say you must have access to that rainy day fund, right? There's always going to be a potential for God forbid your boiler breaks,
The
right?
rainy day fund. Do you
Yeah,
go over this rainy day fund with all of your clients?
100%. Because
100%. Nobody talks about the rainy day fund.
yeah, dude. You know why? Because a lot of times, you want to buy a house. It's a $500,000 home. Let's say you need, let's say 10% down to keep it a round number, right? So you need 50 grand. Your average closing cost, prepaids and escrows is usually, let's say, 15 to 20 grand. So you need about 500. You need 65 to $70,000, right? If you're scrumping up all your money and you do that, great, congratulations, you bought the house. Now, what happens if your boiler bros? You got to put an insurance claim right away. They might tell you to go kick rocks. And right now,
Yeah,
insurance,
that definitely.
100%. And right now, insurance, dude, like any whatchamacallit, like any flag or any hair, let's say you put a claim, dude. My wife was driving on well, actually she wasn't driving. I don't want to call her out, but
Uh-oh,
uh
uh-oh.
her windshield wipers, right? Her windshield wipers needed to be changed. And it's like that TikTok when your girl asks you to do something and then you don't do it, and then you see her going, and then you're like, oh fucking man.
Like you,
Right.
you should have done it.
Yeah, like now you got to stop what you're doing. So she asked me to change her windshield, and of course I'm doing 17 things. So I'm like, I got you. I'll take care of it towards the end of the day. Surely she goes to try to replace it. She takes it off. Now, when she took it off, the flap that
The
goes,
metal, the metal
yeah,
that
the
scrapes the
metal,
window.
she just dropped it like you normally do. Right now, when you normally do,
Oh, I know.
there's
There's
like
the
the
actual blade
cushion.
there.
Yeah, there's a cushion. Now, if you
Yeah.
take the cushion off and you smack it, what you think? It's gonna be metal.
It's all metal, dude. It's,
So she smacked it and then
got a
chipped,
little
right?
chippy.
And of course, we know how the weather is. This happened like a month or a month and a half ago, right when the season was changing.
Yeah.
Started cracking. So of course, I go out. She doesn't say anything to me. So I go out, taking out the trash, and I look at her window, and then I'm like, "Is that shit chipped?" So I asked her. I'm like, "Yo, did you chip your window?" She goes, "No." And then I'm like, "Okay." So I look, I'm like, dude, your window's chipped. She goes, oh my God, I can't believe that's crazy, blah, blah, blah. I check on the cameras. I'm like, this motherfucker, because you literally see she saw it, like it chipped, she heard it. You see her go back to the
Oh,
car
that's
and go like this.
hilarious.
Oh. So I'm like, yo, why are you lying to me? It's a whole nother
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah. Listen. Sometimes it's hard. It's hard to admit. Sometimes,
Dude.
you know, that
So
happened. That actually happened to me too once. And it happened by mistake. I literally was taking it off, and when it was, you know, it was a long time before I had it. Last time before I had changed it, so it was like rusty, I guess. I don't know, but I
yeah.
I not snapped it off, but I yanked it off. When I yanked it off, bro, the shit said bang.
Yeah. Done.
Like I literally closed my eyes. I was like, Lord, I opened them and it didn't crack. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't like from a high place.
Yeah.
But yeah, that happens. Yeah, that can happen.
Yeah. So the reason why I share the story now, I called my boy, and I'm like, yo, you know, this happened. My girl needs to change her windshield. Can you look me out? He goes, Adele. He goes, of course I'll put in a claim. He goes, but I'm gonna be honest with you. He goes, right now, not to name the company, right, but them and many other companies, the second you're putting in a claim, dude, like you're literally risking them saying, hey, we're gonna cancel your insurance. Right. Because what happened is throughout the entire time with COVID, and this is prevalent in all types of insurance, car insurance, home insurance, and all that stuff, right? So much was happening where more claims were being put and made than obviously claims were being paid, right? So they were collecting less money, but they were paying out more. So now there's insurance carriers, right? Who I never used to like. I generally my insurance carriers. I have a plethora of great partners, right? Where they'll usually have their direct sources, right? Like myself, or they'll be brokers, and they'll have the ability to do that. Comes with a price, but they have the ability to do that, right?
Got it.
And dude, you know, a lot of carriers are denying the quote. They just won't give a quote because they just don't want the risk. Or if they do give a quote, they will send an adjuster first in advance to check the house before they issue the quote. That never used to happen, at least based on my experience, right? 2020, 2021 never used to happen. They should just be like, all right, you check it, you ask questions. What's the age of the roof? What's the age of this? What's the age of that? All right, here's your policy.
Yeah.
Right. Then
now
they
would
check.
An adjuster.
They would sometimes check after, right? And they'll be like, hey, this needs to be fixed. Well, what's happening now, a majority of the time, is they're either doing it now or they're asking so much upfront questions upfront. And then eventually either canceling the deal, or even canceling the quote after you close, where they'll send an adjuster and they're like, hey, you need to replace the roof.
You're like, so the house, so the insurance companies are worried about the actual value of the house, right?
That's not the value, the condition.
The condition. Yeah, I mean, condition and what value it is in that condition.
yeah, they're correlated. I agree, but you can't also sometimes blame them, right? So like,
I mean, they're taking on, I guess, liability, right? It's almost like they're just trying to check, like double down. I guess double down.
You can't blame them, right? Because more claims are being made, right? I mean, we see unfortunately so many like house fires left and right. Right.
Yeah.
You know, there's a house fire and you have insurance. The insurance company has to come out, right? Replacement cost coverage and all that stuff.
I mean, we're just talking about flooding, you know?
Yeah, flooding, replacement costs, and all that stuff. So, so there's that, right? That rainy day fund. And what counts in rainy day funds? I mean, there's no shortage of stuff. Boiler, HVAC. You know, you got to change, you know, the carpets. If you're a landlord, it gets even trickier, right? You got to make sure they.
So is that, and I don't mean to interrupt, but that emergency fund, when you're going it over with your clients, is that something that is based off like the overall like maintenance of the house?
Yep.
You know, like I guess you have your own, I guess, breakdown of how you get to that. Cause I would imagine there's different types of emergency funds, right? For different buyers, you know?
Yeah. So like if you're a first time home buyer personally, you know, and it's okay if you don't have access to it like immediately, but let's set a strategy in place, right? Because my relationships with the clients don't just end at the end of the transaction. Absolutely not. You have the logo, lender for life, right?
Damn, the gorilla.
I am not the, you know, yo, what's up? Here's your piece of paper. you know, congratulations, you closed. Thanks for the commish. Deuces, right?
Thanks for the commish.
Yeah. Nope. Absolutely not. Because you're going to need assistance in the future. You're going to need assistance with filing your taxes, which is where you guys come in, as I've already been connecting, right?
Absolutely.
You're going to need assistance with, let's say you bought the house, but then you ran into some credit issues. You're going to need assistance fixing that. So we shoot them over to Horizon. You're going to need assistance, in whatever. You're
Yeah.
going to throw an event, right? So many people.
The
They'll be like,
event.
hey,
Yeah.
you do a bunch of events. Can you recommend me a DJ? Got you. Like we're friends on social media, every single consumer. If a client has a baby and they post it on Instagram, immediately I send a $50 Amazon e-gift card.
Wow, man,
Boom.
that's dope. I mean, look, man, this shit, it's bro, and it speaks for itself, especially with the people that have experience buying a home with you. So, yeah, man, let me just post up the actual logo up again. PRMG Got Mortgages, powered by Abdel Kawat me, right?
Yep, you're getting there.
Got him.
Kawat
Kawat
there
me.
you go.
Man. There we go. It's smooth now. It's smooth. But yeah, man, make sure you definitely check out Got Mortgages on IG. And if you have any inquiries, definitely click on the necessary links on the IG. I know that your digital wallet is there, right, Abdel?
Yep.
So if you guys want to go ahead and click on that link on Abdel's page, that's the Got Mortgages page, you'll be able to go ahead and link over to like almost anything pretty much that he's involved in. He's a terror on the YouTube and content. He's in there every day for a long time. So make sure you go check out that YouTube channel too. And support what we're doing, man. We're people out there really enjoying what we do, helping people, and it's more the motivator than the money, right?
100%.
So I just real quick, right? I had another question. Is there a time in the year that is like best to buy houses? You know what I mean? You know how they have like you can buy your airplane tickets on Tuesday and Thursday, and you'll save some money.
You got me adjusting my seat, right? When people ask me that question. So listen, there's never and I get heat from this or whatever, and I can care less, but there's never a right or wrong time to buy a house, right? But every single consumer situation is going to be a little different, right? If you're in a position where you're currently renting right now, you should 110% look into purchasing a home. And the reason why is I bought my first property in 2017. It was a 2-family home in South Hackensack, and I bought it for $450,000. The house is now worth easily, if I wanted to just let it go, $950,000. So I've got over now
2017,
well over $550,000 after what we've paid into it, right? In equity. Now, when I bought my house in 2017, my rate was a 5.625. And you can see some of my old videos that said that, right? 2021 came, I refied at a 2.75. Nice. I literally shaved off $900 from my monthly payment and did not have to lift a finger. We got our first literally. We got our payment in the beginning was roughly about $4,200. My current payment with the mortgage that the tenants pay for is all self-sufficient, and I get to leave extra money there to cover a rainy day fund, right? So that's on an investment property. Now you got the pros and cons, right? Like I got tenants in there right now that got their, 2 different couples living there. They got kids there. My in-laws are on the first floor. They're doing their thing, taking care of things, which I know I can make more money, but they're there maintaining the premise, keeping the equity of the property and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that's the sucky part too about owning an investment property. You got to deal with that. Now, my in-laws are like, hey, we want to kick them out. And I'm like, or we should be charging more. And I'm like, well, let me worry about what we're charging. But I would rather have a tenant who's on time, who's paying. Kind of sucks that they have, there's like 3 kids there. It's a big 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, apartment.
Yeah.
But they pay on time. and they don't really bother. Sometimes, like my father-in-law will say, like they'll party late, right? And I'm like, well, motherfuckers, you guys are Spanish. I've been with you. I've been with your daughter for almost 16 years. You're doing the same thing. I'm like, but you nip it in the butt from the beginning, and you say, hey, can you do me a favor? Post 9 o'clock, as in your lease.
Yeah, terms of the lease. I mean, one thing I believe in strongly, is like, let it be in the contract. Let's talk about everything and anything that crosses your mind, so that once that's signed, nobody has to worry about anything. No. Like, listen, we had a great conversation. We initially met, and with all smiles and agreements. And look, this is what we signed to. I mean, it's all there. And when we're talking about obviously being a homeowner and having rental activity, right?
Yeah. Now talk about switching the focus, right? Because not every single person here wants to be an investor, right? It's a grind and a whole nother gig in itself, right?
Yeah,
now
definitely.
Talk about, I bought my personal property, right? We bought other properties in between, right? But that's my first, and this is my last one now. Is I bought a house down the shore, right? Bought it for $560, 2021. So a little over almost 3 years now.
Yeah,
a little over 2.5. I bought it in June, right? Which is, I'm not going to say the worst time to buy a house, because there is no worst time to buy a house, but that's when competition is at its best, right? Yeah. Everybody would rather move in the summer and the spring because it's warm than move in the winter. So if there's a prevalent time for you where your lease is about to expire, or even if your lease is not about to expire, the winter time certainly gives you a competitive advantage. Even if rates are trickling now in the mid to low sixes, right? Yeah. Or vice versa, or mid sixes to high to sevens, depending on your credit score and your down payment, it still simultaneously makes sense for you to be able to buy a house during the winter. That's my personal affirmation on that. So
yeah, no, it makes total sense though, the way you broke it down. I mean, in the wintertime, who's really trying, to move and do all that? So it's like, okay, let's give them a more of an incentive sort of thing, right?
Yep, 100%.
All right, and man, and I mean, I had another question. I mean, we're talking about.
I'm gonna plug my laptop in for a second. Give me 1 second.
Nah, go ahead. Actually, go ahead. Go right ahead. Go right ahead. And yeah. So guys, listen. We're gone over a few things right now with Abdel, and for sure, the processes are starting to seem more and more clear to me, especially because I'm definitely interested in buying a home in the near future, and knowing what the pity is, and the mortgage insurance, and how different loans can affect what type of insurance you're going to have to get. So all these things are things that should be investigated by the buyer. I mean, Abdel is one of the few, and I would love to say that there's many like Abdel. No, don't worry about it, brother. And I would, I would wish that I could say that, but there's not too many. And, it does do you justice to do some of your due diligence and take some of the information that's been shared right now. And for you to look into it, and especially if you are really looking to buy a home, and, like you said, loans vary, insurances vary depending on the loan, on the type of loan.
Yep.
So it's good stuff to know, and good stuff to actually take in before you go actually talk about buying a home. And look, it's not to discourage anyone. You don't have to actually do all this research, but it would be in your best interest, right, Abdel? And
yeah, I mean, we try to really give, like me. I mean, we did 29 home buying seminars last year. 19 events in person, community events. I'm a big vet guy, so we did a lot of veterans drive, breaking bags brigades. Shout out to them. We actually put plastic bags of essentials and stuff that we just throw around, right? Yeah. Toothpaste, deodorant, socks, toothbrush, things like that. And we organized a drive with about 6 other local businesses a gym, an attorney's office, a title company, a real estate office, and then a few other local mom and pop bagel stores and stuff. And we all got together and we have these big bins where we throw all the deodorant, throw all the toothpaste, and then we get these plastic Ziploc bags and we hand them out. And what we did was we give it to them breaking bags. And then what they do is they actually go to Penn Station, vet places, shelters, and we hand them out. Right. And I tell people, like, it is so much more than just, when people look at like hosting home buying seminars, stuff like that, give me your money. Like, my goal is to teach you about the process, and whether you want to use us for the transaction or not, I would love the honor too, but that's not the incentive of why we do it. Right. We're truly here. And, I've been doing video content since you remember, you see the pictures. I was like 10
Yeah,
pounds.
man. Yeah. I'm much
so we
younger.
Care. We care, and it resonates, thank God. And I'm the least person that makes the business successful. It's a team. The least I do is pick up my phone and make myself accessible, right? It's Pam, it's our support staff, it's our underwriters, it's our corporate team. PRMG is the only company I've ever been with, which speaks volume to the industry, because real estate professionals, lenders, title companies, insurances, people tend to think the grass is greener on the other side, right?
Yeah.
And the reality,
it's
we've heard it
usually
before,
like that.
Yeah, and it might be, right? Who knows? But I know for me, my grass is green, and my company is always there.
How many years has the grass been green on your side?
It's been green, my brother. Thank God.
How many years have you been with PRMG?
We're in our 6th.
6 years. So 6 years, grass has been green.
Grass is green. I mean, listen, you got to pivot, right? I had a massive team a year and a half ago of 16 loan officers. I sliced it down big time to about 4, and we still came out as the number 3 top originator in the entire region for our company, right? With us right behind 1 and 2 neck and neck. So with who've been doing it for about, one was doing it for about 30, one was doing it for about 27 years. So,
oh wow,
give us a little bit and allow us the ability to leverage our partners and our team and put systems in place. I don't care about volume or numbers. It's truly, if you think about buying a house, my job is to make sure there's no one else that you think about but me. Right. So
awesome.
I'm going to
awesome customer service, man. Yeah. I worked in the customer service space for like 4 years, 5 years consecutively, man. And yeah, man, the customer service experience that goes along with the actual know-how, and the way you break it down, bro, is it's a rarity. Trust me, I know. It's rare. So kudos to you, absolutely. And you're here every Thursdays with us. And I don't know if the Gorilla's going to be here every Thursday, then, Thursdays with the Gorilla, man. And I think that next time around, I wanted to touch base on maybe what it looks like to buying commercial real estate. Mm-hmm. And if, that's something that you are, we do. Always. Okay. So the Gorilla has experience in the business of buying buildings,
Yeah, we just closed the mixed use in Sparta. I posted. So PRMG, we do straight residential. But through Got Mortgages and my other institution, Got Originator, we also do a lot of commercial, loans to your DSCR, your bank statement, your P&L, or just commercial. Commercial is a little bit more based on the property itself and the cash flow of the property, right? Yeah. They're shorter terms, right? They're usually either 20-year terms. Some of them are interest only.
Stricter too, no, right?
It's very strict.
Yeah.
But it's like it's based also on vacancies, right? Like if you're buying an office building, right? Like I'm in Eatontown, right? Mm-hmm. I moved here when my lease expired in Woodbridge, and I moved my entire office when I simultaneously let go of a few people, right? And this place, beautiful building, brand new, newly gutted. They've been doing it. There's still a lot of empty spaces. And that's just not knocking on our building, which is in the heart of Eatontown, which if anybody knows down the shore, Long Branch is really, really hot. So what do? I picked up one room, corner, top office, corner office, windows, the whole shebang. And then business got better. We opened up this suite, the podcast room. Now the goal is I'm hiring a lot more employees. We get a third suite, right? And then we have a set for there. So the reason why I say it is that commercial, especially with what's happening from that world, right? It's dead. COVID threw a massive baseball in a glass, right? In a glass house, right? Like they say. Because
hit him with an uppercut, huh?
100%. I mean, they straight went backslapped the industry because people can now work from home. It's cheaper for the employer to house expensive rent. It's also cheaper for the consumer to commute. You could
Yeah.
probably pay less or incentivize. And some people, like, I'll be honest, sometimes I am more productive working from home than I am coming into the office. Because once I come into the office, I want to jump into the podcast room. I want to shoot content. I want to bullshit. I want to meet with our professionals. I am about 30 minutes away from my house. So I don't want to go home real quick after I just made the drive. So I start meeting up with the different insurance partners and this partner and that partner. And before I know it, I'm looking down at my emails and I'm flooded.
No, it could work. Listen, some people feel like they have to go to the office. I mean,
Yep.
Elon Musk was big on everybody had to come into to the office. If not, you were
Smart.
fired. He fired a lot of people. And, but it can also work that, you just work better from home. I mean, I work from home a lot.
Yeah.
And I just, once I get in this laptop, if you guys would see me, I got like 3-4 monitors. I'm here like Neo, you know what I mean? And I feel comfortable. Every now and then, though, I do got to get out. And it's cool that you make that point too, because it did have an impact on people wanting to have brick and mortar,
100%.
having brick and mortars. But in the sense, though, there's still a lot of room for other businesses that you can, have as a business rental. There's other, I mean, look, man, content shooting is super great, and people are looking for spaces. So, it's a great avenue if you're going to buy, if you're a commercial buyer, to turn those spaces into those type of, businesses.
Yeah.
So commercial rates. Now listen, I don't want you to give them too much yet, Abdel. All right. This is for the next one on Thursday. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and post up right now. Check out the PRMG Got Mortgages powered by Abdel Kawatmi. Right. And I hope I got that one right. If not, all right. So I got the thumbs up. Listen, make sure you check it out. Got Mortgages on IG. Also, Abdel, I'll let you just briefly go ahead and shoot out the mortgage originator school, right?
Yep. So gotoriginator.com or gotlicense.com. We're licensed throughout the entire nation. All the courses are self-paced online. You do it yourself. You have up to 120 days to complete it on your own. The national course is only 20 hours. So you can literally bang it out in a week. Gives you the ability and the flexibility. You complete the course, you take the state exam, which nowadays, from my understanding, can be done from home, and you're ready to rock. And, last year was a little quiet on that. Who wanted to be an originator when rates were creeping up and people were exiting the game? We're starting to see an influx now because as rates go down, potential opportunities for income. So
Beautiful.
If you're, whatever the case may be, whatever employment that you do, diving in isn't necessarily the wrong thing. But I do always say the jack of all trades is the master of none, right? So, I have a lot of different people who hit me up and they want to do it. And they're a realtor, but then they're an attorney. Then they want to run a title company. Then they want to do mortgages. Like, I'm the mortgage guy. It's very simple for me. And I actually went and took my real estate license and passed the exam and passed the state exam. And I never put my license in with the state. It fell through the cracks because I just truly did it and it expired. Now I have to redo the whole thing. But
yeah, I did the same thing. I took the test and I didn't
so but I'm the mortgage guy. Even the school, sometimes you don't see me promote it too much because it's on autopilot. But I do make myself accessible to all of our students too, and give you the tidbits, give you the recommendations. We run our schools with mortgage education. So you have the accessibility to that,
and all this can be like, if I clicked on your IG, I can click on your digital wallet, and would I be able to click on one of those icons and go and find more information out if I wanted to? Looks like you froze up on me a little bit. It's all good. It's all good. Listen, this was Thursdays with the Gorilla, Abdel Kawatmi, and you're here with us, Trupod, Truthful Taxes, powered by Truthful Taxes. So make sure you go check us out. We're in full swing for tax season. Tomorrow's episode, I will, kind of like coattail what me and Abdel were talking about. I'm going to jump into rental activity deductions, business activity deductions, and what that looks like for you in the tax scope. So make sure you tune in with us tomorrow at 9, okay, for the morning hustle. Right now, we're going to go ahead and, outro the gorilla. And we thank you again. So let's go. All right, bam. Chill, champ. The gorilla stopped by.
Yes, sir. Boom.
All right, my brother, man. We're out of here. This is Trupod, the morning hustle.
Why they talking like they go? Just don't provoke me, cause I don't need no cellmate. I'm in a 2-seat doing drives like a mailman.